Did you know that the original Assassin's Creed game was titled Prince of Persia: Assassins? You're listening to the Xbox Hub Podcast, the official podcast of the TheXboxHub.com. For all the latest Xbox news, reviews, videos, and opinions, make sure you visit the TheXboxHub.com. But for now, settle down, get comfy, and open your ears for some podcast delights. Hello, and welcome to the Xbox Hub Official Podcast, episode number 48. My name's Gareth Briney. I'm going to be your host. And on my virtual left is Mr. James Burks. How you doing, James?
I'm not too bad, thank you.
Oh.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. And on my virtual right is Mr. Neil Watson. How you doing, Neil?
I'm good, thanks.
Now, Neil is laughing because we've had some technical problems because James sounds like he's in the middle of the Atlantic in a rowboat. So if he suddenly fades away, we're having some internet issues. Don't worry, but it's making us laugh.
Either that or he's got under the waves and there's no coming back.
We've lost him, but for now, he's okay. We're recording this episode. We've got a special podcast today because we normally were going to record on Friday to cover the Ubisoft conference. But something happened today, and this is Wednesday, is it the 9th today?
Yes.
Yep. Wednesday the 9th of September. And it's been a hell of a week, isn't it, first of all? And let's just talk through the week, first of all. So on Monday, it's PlayStation's week, isn't it? It's their anniversary week. They had kind of some stuff planned to showcase their VR announcements. And there was rumours on Monday that PlayStation were going to reveal their console and their prices, which they denied. Yeah. And then, what's the first thing that happened? Was it a leak?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it depends on what you want to call a leak.
Okay.
Somebody obviously leaks it, and it makes me think that they wanted it to come out, especially today.
Okay. The first thing we heard, wasn't it? I think it was from a Windows website, Windows something, and it was the Xbox Series S. So this is the first time this has even been announced. And what we got on the leak was a picture of the console and a price, which was $299, I think, at the time, wasn't it? With a release date, a rumored release date of November the 10th. And then Xbox did a very kind of brilliant campaign when they had them on Twitter doing these kind of memes of them looking sort of suspicious, these cartoon characters. And then they said, okay, here it is. We're going to announce this console. And they confirmed it. They didn't confirm the November the 10th, did they? But they confirmed the look of the console. This is what it was. And it was going to retail at $249 UK pounds. Yeah. And Phil Spencer's come out now in the last hour and said, we were going to announce next week. But, hey ho, it got leaked.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting timing.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? Do you think it was a leak? Do you think it was a deliberate thing?
It's worked out very well, whichever way.
Yeah. I think Xbox have played a really good hand here. I think they've done from a really bad, we were talking on the podcast, weren't we, about how they had a really bad week, didn't they, with the Halo week, and it was other stuff. I've even forgotten what it was, but it wasn't bad. And I think this is a good move. I mean, let's talk about the Series S first of all. What do we think of that? Let's talk about how it looks, what it looks like. What do you think, Neil? Do you like the look of it?
It looks like a bulky Xbox adaptive controller.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
It does. It does. That's why I said it, James.
Carry on.
I like the look. It's their smallest console ever. It's all digital. It complements the big black Xbox Series X really nicely, I think, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the look of it.
James?
Yeah, I think the price is the big winner. But the way it looks, I'm not too convinced. Looks like an old docking station that I used to have for an iPod. But I mean, it looks nice and dinky. It'll fit anywhere.
What is the actual size of it? Do we know? I mean, there's probably measurements there. What's the?
It's smaller than the X.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the smallest console ever, isn't it? So bigger than a banana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's just my untrained eyes.
Good.
I'm not sure.
Good. Okay.
Oh, okay. We haven't actually said what it looks like yet, have we?
No, explain it to us.
It's a slab. It's just a white slab with a big round black circular. I guess that's the fan on it. And it's 60% smaller than Xbox Series X, which is like, well, we've had all the jokes about the fridge and all stuff like that, haven't we? So that's no biggie really. But yeah, it's just like I say, a bulked up Xbox adaptive controller.
Like a little washing machine. It's got that big circle.
Like a little Samsung washing machine.
Yeah.
You know those ones that you can load after they're already spinning.
That's a good washing machine. I like that. Yeah.
It's and they're a lot more expensive as well.
Yeah, they are. So
we've
got a fridge and a washing machine.
Dimensions wise, I don't actually know.
Yeah. It's small.
They've said, haven't they? But probably, judging by the pictures, they've got it alongside one of the new wireless controllers. And it's probably the same width as a wireless controller, and maybe 2 and a bit controllers high. 2 controllers high. Maybe 3.
Yeah,
possibly. Yeah, but no, it's nice. I like it.
Okay, and so I'm just going to go. Let's talk about both these things first of all, and then today around 3:00, I was on Twitter, and then one little kind of tweet first came out, and then it was the Xbox Series X got announced out of the blue, and we got the release date confirmed, which is November the 10th, and we got the price confirmed for both consoles. We knew about the Xbox Series S, and lots of other little bits we're going to talk about in a minute. But first of all, we had the price, which in the UK is £449, which from when we were on the podcast on Friday, weren't we? The three of us.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the Pringles story that I talked about, which was possibly put at £750. And Neil said, I would pay £600 for it. It would be fine.
Quite easily.
Quite easily.
He still would.
He still would.
If he'll take it.
If we at the shop demanding, like, I want to pay for it, I think it's worth. But $449 is, for me, that's a really good price. And $249 for the Series S is amazing as well. You agree? You too? Good price.
I think especially the $249. I think it's a very affordable price to get into the next generation.
Right.
But yeah, $449. It's a little bit cheaper than the best case scenario. I thought $500. To be fair. But yeah, I think they've done really well to get down to that price. They definitely, they must be losing money at that price. But I think it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be worth it. Because a lot more people will be able to afford it now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm amazed it's under £500. It kind of makes me think maybe they wanted to sell it at $500 and bundle in Halo Infinite.
Yes.
But with that obviously gone, $450 is a brilliant price, amazing price. But we all know what's going to happen now, don't we? That's the problem.
What's that?
Break day one.
The others, apart from a break day one, the other side of the console wars will come in at like £440 and try and just undercut it. It'd be interesting to see if they can do it or not.
I don't think they will.
The rumour today, the big rumour from about an hour ago, and I was kind of scouring the kind of, and this is from a really good source, an IT source. They thought the PlayStation was going to announce this week, So even though they said they weren't, they were ready to announce. And they had, because there was lots of stories this week coming from game stores. In Australia, they had the games like Demon's Souls, Gran Turismo, and that little Sackboy game. They had the covers of those, all ready to go. Those launch titles. And the rumor they had was that it was $449. It was the price that they were going to do for the main one, and $349 for the digital version. And this was sort of thing. So, did Xbox go, let's just get in there first? Did Xbox find out what the price was, and go, let's just announce first?
But that's a big undercut, especially on the all digital version. If it was rumored, I hate rumors anyway. I can't stand them. But if it was coming in anywhere near 350, is that what you said? 349?
No, 449 for the main one, and 349 for the digital version.
Yeah, maybe they think it was going to come in at 300, and that's why they went at 250. Because I can't see them happily knocking £100 off just to get one up. Can you? Really?
I think they want. I think they've had such a bad time of it. I mean, they've not had a great month or 2 months, have they? And I think Halo was the biggest thing for them. And I think they might, I don't think, we've got this impression, I think, that both these consoles, both Microsoft and Sony, have sort of been just sitting back going, who's going to go first? And that's it. That's the console. And people are getting really annoyed, including me, of going, just announce it now. People need to financially look at what they're doing, make plans, especially in these times. And I think they've both been really cleverly trying to find out what the other one's doing as well. And I think they've probably been trying to look at market research and going to people, what would you spend? What would be a good price for you as well?
Yeah.
Finding that out in the last, 6 months or so. And I think that's all gone towards making this final kind of reveal. I personally think it would have been changing all the time up until the last moment. Because otherwise, they just would have announced it.
Yeah. So that's I think the case since Halo got delayed. What they had in mind before then would be a lot higher than this, because then they can market it better with Halo on board.
Yeah.
But without that, they really had to make a statement.
Yeah.
And they've done
it. The 249 price is a kind of amazing price, isn't it? We talked about last week. We're sort of like looking at inflation in years. It's an amazing kind of price for a console, isn't it? It's cheaper.
It's a brilliant price.
It's cheaper than the Switch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about both the things together. So, have you two got an understanding of this tech stuff? Because they are different consoles, the Series X and the Series S, aren't they, in what they can do? Neil, have you got an idea to sum it up without going to teraflops and knockabops and tops?
Yeah, I don't want to go into all that rubbish. But basically, what I've taken from it is, if you want the best of the best, you get the Series X. If you're not bothered about 4K, you get the Series S.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't think there's an awful lot of difference in it. Am I right in saying?
James, what do you think? You've done a bit more of research into this, haven't you?
Well, I know more of the technical details.
Okay.
Doesn't really understand them. I know that you get 12 teraflops with the X, whereas you only get 4 on the S.
Right.
So that makes it quite a lot less powerful. And I think it's 1440p performance wise instead of 4K.
Yeah.
So it is a little drop, but it's still better than 1080, which is what most probably have at the moment. And the storage is a bit of an issue. You only get 512 gigabytes.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, really?
Yeah, and given the fact that 1 terabyte in the main Series X isn't quite enough.
Right.
512 is nothing.
Yeah.
That's the major downside for me.
For a digital console, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 512. You could get rid of that. Maybe not this year, but in a couple of years' time, once they start pushing it and start making games that are 200 gig in size.
Look at Warzone. Warzone
Exactly.
I think 12 gigabytes without the updates.
Yeah.
And these games are going to get bigger, aren't they? They're not going to get smaller.
Absolutely.
And we already with Microsoft's Flight Simulator. What was that? That was on 9 discs on the PC, wasn't it? And like that, I think that was about 200 gig, wasn't it? So, and I think the games being produced are, we talked about it briefly. They're going for these massive open world games, aren't they? Which is huge kind of quality and data required. So I think it's a worry. I didn't realise that. But Microsoft will count that and say, well, you have got all these their own memory sticks and that they're...
Yeah, and it'll still have faster loading times.
Yeah.
And that quick resume that they were showing off.
Yeah, let's talk about that just quickly, if you don't mind.
Let's talk about quick resume.
Yeah, because we saw a video by... Who was it by? It was a lovely bearded chap. He was talking about... he was showing off the Xbox Series S and the quick resume. And the idea is that you could be playing one game, you're halfway through, and then you just go and switch to your other game, and then you can just instantly play the next game. So you could basically have 4 games on the go, swapping instantly between all 4 of them. Neil, what's your views on this?
Hello. I remember a video back in 2012, something like that, with Graham Boyd and AC Bongos showing off the hot switching on Xbox One. He didn't even need a controller. He spoke to his Kinect and said, play Rise, and he played Rise. Within a few seconds, he would say, play Forza, and he'd be playing Forza, and it was amazing. So what's all this new founded stuff here in 2020? You tell me.
Maybe it works now.
Maybe it does.
It worked. It worked then until they ditched Kinect.
James, what do you think? Before I weigh in on my view,
I think Neil's right that it has been done before, but it didn't work very well because I would try to switch between FIFA and Rocket League, and it just kicks you out the servers. That's the game.
That's the main problem, isn't it? It's the multiplayer, especially like FIFA and stuff.
Keeps you in.
Yeah.
It was also before they filled the dashboard up with ads and a load of other bloatware that wasn't really required. So
very true.
It's like anything, isn't it? You buy a new PC, it's super quick to start with. You start filling it up with stuff, it slows down massively. Exactly. Mm. Yeah. So no, I'm not sold on that at all.
There's 2 things I saw from it. The first thing was the games that they had on there that he was demonstrating. One of them was Skate, and one of them was Black. That game was on the 360, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So that made me go, wow. It's not Red Dead, or it's not GTA. You're not swapping between those 2 games, are you? I like to see it do that. Game.
When you say Skate, do you mean Skate or not Skate 4 that they're kind of making?
No, I think it was a Skate. Yeah, have a look at it. I'm sure it was Skate. The Black was definitely there, but it was Skate. It wasn't the new Tony Hawk's game.
All right, okay.
And so it wasn't huge games. So that I'd like to see it if it was swapping between Assassins and the Red Dead and that.
Even Gears of War.
Yeah, exactly. Those kind of huge games. And I think that's my thing about the comparison between the 2. I think I would look at it and go, if you looked at a game like Red Dead, my mate who I gave Red Dead to, and he's got my old Xbox One game, and me playing it on my Xbox One X. Is that what it's called? I'm confused.
Yeah, you got it right.
There is a massive, that difference. It's the same game. You're still playing it, but there is a massive difference between how it's played, how it looks, of course, because it's more upscaled here in my TV, but also how it loads and how it plays a little bit as well. And I think that's the big difference between the 2, isn't it? And it's whether later on will they get to a point when you'll have Xbox Series X games only, 2 or 3 years down the line. That might happen.
I should hope so.
Yeah.
I should hope so.
So it's whether this console, the 249, is great, but is it one that's going to have a lifespan?
I'm surprised it can run the Series X games, considering technically it is less powerful than the One X.
But what you say about that, James? Can you just go through those figures again for me? The ones that you had?
Sure, Neil.
Thank you.
Let me check my notes.
That's why we let you in.
Yeah.
The Series X is 12 teraflops. The One X is 6. The Series S is 4.
Oh,
and it can do 4K.
So the Series S is less teraflops than the One X.
Yeah, and it can't do 4K unlike the One X.
Yeah, I know it can't do 4K.
And let me check the RAM. It's got 10 gigabytes of RAM, whereas the One X has got 12.
So where I'm reading here, Xbox Series S delivers 4 times the processing power of an Xbox One console. Are they talking original Xbox One?
It must be. Because honestly, specs-wise, you probably are better off sticking with your One X.
Okay, you could be right actually, because an Xbox One X has got 6 teraflops, what you said.
Yeah.
The One S has got 1.4, which probably means that the original one is down to about 1-ish, something like that. So, so they're selling this on the back of the processing power of an Xbox One from 20. What year was that?
13.
13.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes that £250 price tag a bit less interesting.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because how long we had the One X's? We've had them 2-3 years, maybe 3 years now.
3 years, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't feel like you've had they haven't hit their potential, have they? They haven't hit the limits of what they could have done.
But is that because they're still being held back by, as we've just worked out, from the original Xbox One? It has to play on that console, and it has to play on the One X, which therefore makes me slightly worried about going forward. The Series X and the Series S.
Yeah.
Are we going to be held back again? Are we? Yeah, maybe now, yes, but in 3 or 4 years' time, when devs kind of get their hands on stuff and understand what's required and how to push the Series X massively, they're going to be held back, aren't they?
I just think you won't get a game on the Xbox Series S, and I don't think you'll get a game on the PlayStation Digital if it has the same specs, the same relationships in the specs. I think you'll just get it. You'll get something on the X on its own, and something on the PlayStation 5 on its own.
But that's not how they're selling it, is it?
Yeah.
So,
but they're doing their own games.
Yeah.
It's their own games. Their own. It's not the third party stuff. The third party can come in and say this is only for that. Or they might release something and go, we use the Shadow of Mordor example when it was on the 360 and the Xbox One. When you can get both games, but on the Xbox One, you've got the Nemesis. You've got an extra bit that's not in the other one.
Yeah, but these are just the same generation. So they should work on both.
Yeah.
In theory, I know what you mean, though.
Yeah.
Just going into that again, they've created these two consoles side by side to go into the next generation together. And one of their statements, if I could read it out, is Xbox Series S delivers the same next generational speed and performance that defines Xbox Series X. It is similar in CPU, has identical I/O performance, making it easier for developers to deliver the same great performance while rendering at lower resolution. So they're basically saying you'll be able to play everything just at a lower resolution. That's going forward.
But then they've said that before. It's about what a game does in 3 years' time, isn't it? We had with Red Dead. That was the problem with Red Dead. Red Dead was pushing it to the limit, and it did work on both. It worked on both. It did do it, but it was you knew. I remember us getting my Xbox One and playing Assassin's Creed and playing that, and then getting the Xbox One X, and visually it looking different, but it played differently. It felt different. It was.
I just remember being blown away by the splash screen of that as soon as I got the One X.
Yeah.
The logo came up. I thought, wow, that looks good, and that's just the logo.
Yeah. So, can I ask you, gentlemen, what are you going to be getting? Before we go into, we're going to talk about prices and plans, but from those two consoles there, what are you going to get? Neil?
I was going to get the Series X. I'm still getting the Series X. I would have possibly considered the Series S for in the bedroom or something like that.
Sorry?
But, yeah. For a bit of bedroom gaming.
A bit of bedroom gaming, yeah. All right.
But looking into it now, I wouldn't. Not even at that price.
Okay. James?
When I heard the price, it would have been Series S. But now I've seen the specs in more detail. And
we've broken it down, James. Here, now, on this podcast, we have broken the specs down. We know exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly. If you need it again later on, just ask. I'll go for the Series X, I think.
Ah, okay. Good. Yeah.
And what about you, Gareth?
It's definitely Series X. I mean, I'm terrible. I just like the shiniest thing. I've always been like this. But I do want, I want something to run those games I really want to play. I want it to look the best. I want it to feel the best. And that's...
the farming games.
Yeah.
It's kind of reminded me... Exactly. It's kind of reminded me a few years back. I've always kind of been up to speed with Android and Android phones, and I've always had a flagship phone. But Google brought out the this is maybe 5-6 years ago. They brought out the Nexus 6P and the Nexus 5X, sold them alongside each other. All these are both brilliant. At the time, I had to take the bigger one. I had to take the beefier one. My mate took the smaller one, and he regretted it from day one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that's happening here.
It's like this is for me and Neil, of course, because we're older. When the ZX Spectrum came out in the 80s, there was a 16K version and a 32K version. I got bought for Christmas the 16K version, which I loved, first of all. But I was always envious of my friends with 32K because they could just do that extra bit more and play other games. Do you remember that, Neil? 48K, not 32K. It was 16K and 48K. Yeah.
I would say I was with you, but I was a Commodore boy. And so I had a choice between a Commodore 64. Shut up, James.
Well done, James. Good, I like that.
Yeah. I had the choice of getting a Commodore 64, or which was going nuts at the time. Everybody was buying a Commodore 64, or a Commodore 128, which nobody had ever heard of.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone's ever heard of it now. And I got a Commodore 128.
Yeah,
that was brilliant.
Yeah,
the 80s, amazing.
Yeah.
Did you play it all night long?
Were you writing that down?
Is he
Okay, good. Very nice. I think it's got to be the best thing, whatever that is. And I'm
of course it has.
Really looking forward to that. Yeah.
Although, that said, can I just to carry on going on that? For years, I've wanted an all-digital console. And I'm gutted I can't have the Series X in all-digital. I would really like that.
Yeah, but you can't do that, nor can James, nor can I, because of what we do. Because we might get games in disc. We don't get many out of it.
How many discs do we get come through, really? No. Not very many, is it?
No, it's true.
But no, I would love a Series X without a disc drive. If they want to knock a tenner off for me, then fine. But I'd pay the same price, really, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
You can just pretend it's not there.
Well, that's what I do at the moment. That's what
I do. Let's just talk about just a little chat about the price and the plans, because I think for me, this is what I think what Xbox are doing here, and I don't know what PlayStation are going to be doing, is a sort of stroke of genius. I really believe this. Is it called Xbox All Access?
Yes.
Yeah. So with this plan, and they kind of announced it, and I think we got our kind of rough plot price. We know what it is in dollars anyway. But we haven't got confirmation what it is in the UK yet. But All Access, you're going to get the console, Xbox Series S or the Xbox Series X, Game Pass, and Game Pass Ultimate, which covers the Game Pass, the PC, and we'll talk about this in a minute, EA Play. And you're going to get that for a monthly subscription, and you don't have to pay anything up front. And you pay that monthly fee. And for the Xbox Series S, we're probably looking around maybe £22 in UK, and for the Series X, probably about 30 quid. Is that right? From the dollar exchange thing at the moment? It's $24.99 for the Xbox Series X.
I think it was 25.
25 for the Series S?
Yeah, because they're currently doing the Xbox One S, the old one, for £20 a month.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In the Xbox All Access.
Yeah, okay.
So
you think £25 for the Series S, and for the...
Yeah.
Do you think £30 is probably sounds about right for the Xbox Series X?
To be fair.
You think it's more, do you?
So we're going straight dollar to pound conversion one to one.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so, given the price of the current ones.
See, I was estimating around 30. Well, okay, fine.
Either way.
Yeah. And so I think the genius of this, for Microsoft doing this, is it's now where we are, I think, in this sense. We know in this country at the moment, the furlough system is going down. It's going to be a bit tight, isn't it, money-wise? That's fair to say, isn't it? And job-wise for everyone.
For a lot of people, yeah.
Yeah. So we're coming up to Christmas, November. Everyone's going to want these consoles. And finding £449 for certain people with families is a big ask. But actually, if you're going to go, what we need is 60 quid to get us through November and December. And then we're going to pay, of course, this. But it just makes it... It's like getting a kind of a low rented... What's it called? A low interest credit card, isn't it? For this a little bit.
Yeah,
kind of a medium, yeah.
Or it's just like having a Netflix subscription, or it's like having a phone contract. That's all it is, isn't it, really? There's people that spend 50, 60, 70 quid a month on a phone contract.
Yeah.
Over 2 years. So,
what do you think? Do you think it's good, James? Do you like this? Are you going to do this, James? That's what I'm going to ask you.
I was tempted until I saw it was Game that are doing it in this country. And I don't trust Game. So
no, they only email Gareth, don't they?
Yeah. They've emailed me tonight. Said your Xbox X Series X will be ready, sir.
Is it in the warehouse?
Yeah, it's in the warehouse. Your signature's been put onto it. Yeah.
But yeah, I think if they do it at different places, I will definitely look into that avenue, because it's much easier to find 35 quid a month than it is that massive amount in one go.
Well, we were saying today about James, because James loves his Korean loot boxes. How much are they a month?
Oh, I think they're $24 or $25
a month.
I think so.
Oh, you're there already. Get rid of those.
Same price.
Get rid of that.
One of them.
Oh my word, they're gone.
What do you mean?
Get your Xbox.
Oh, I live without food.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I think it does feel a bit more... There's a way of doing that and managing that in that kind of tough time.
It'd be great for families that have got kids as well.
Yeah.
With all the games they can play on Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's an incredible choice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Neil, it's available at Smith's as well. Smith's Toys in the UK.
Yeah, I might go there then.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like Smith's.
It surprises me that you can't do it direct through the Microsoft store.
Yeah,
I think that would make more sense. I think you can do it in the US.
Yeah.
But not over here, which is quite strange, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's strange.
But no, was that a question you asked me there?
Yeah, do you think it's nice? Do you think it's clever as I think how clever it is? I thought it was a really good move by them.
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really good.
No, I did some.
It opens it up to a load of more people, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's really clever.
Yeah, and like you say, there's going to be a lot of people with what's going on, especially at this time of year. There's going to be a lot of people that can't afford a console straight out, and they will go in with the all access.
Yeah. Now I've worked it out. I've done some maths in my head and on a bit of paper.
Okay.
Sort of. Yeah, I know it's terrible. And of course, with these things, if you buy the Xbox Series X, for example, you buy that and you have Game Pass and you bought EA Play separately, for example, you're looking at, it's probably a little bit cheaper. I think it works out about £60-70 cheaper, which makes sense, doesn't it? Because you're, and that's what I meant about a kind of low to middle level credit card. That's your kind of, almost your interest by doing it monthly is going to be, you're going to be paying sort of £60-70 more than you would if you bought it all normally. But I think that's all right.
But that's including like the $20 for EA Play, is it? Because
that's included.
That's now been wiped out. They've wiped that out now for everybody, so you can take that off straight away. That is included in Game Pass. Just get on with it, isn't it? That there is no such thing as EA Play anymore. Is that right?
You can still join. You still buy it. You can separately. You don't have to go through Game Pass. You can still do EA Play.
You can still take EA Play.
Yeah.
By itself and not have Game Pass.
If I wanted to get an Xbox Series X, I just wanted EA Play and not Game Pass. Or I could do. See, for me, for example,
okay,
I've got Game Pass, but I haven't got Ultimate Game Pass. I can't. There's no point because it has no. I've got an Apple.
Yeah, so that's like me. Yeah, there's no point in me having it, but I've got it anyway.
But the EA Play, which we'll talk about in a minute, is a consideration. But EA Play is not that much, and you still can get EA Play. It's like 20-30 quid for a year, isn't it?
Still get. I thought they were kind of merging the two together, so it was going to be Xbox Game Pass just had EA's titles in it as well. Right. But that's not the case then.
No,
right.
No, it's not from what I understand. But that's only just happened today. But I could be wrong.
Okay.
But I think that's fine. I think actually, if you're paying something you expect to pay, an extra 60, if you can't do it, you'll go, okay, that's fine. Wouldn't you?
Over 2 years, you wouldn't notice it, would really?
Exactly. That's really good. It's a bit of kind of that was really big. Really, I think that's probably eased a lot of people's head. Now, do you think, before we go into EA Play, we haven't also talked about pre-order date, which is September the 22nd. So that's when you can do your pre-orders. And the whole internet will break down at midnight on the 22nd.
Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be enough consoles in Xbox?
No.
No.
No. I think they were sold out within mere hours.
Really?
There's not really enough, yeah.
I'd go minutes.
You've done minutes?
And then they were on eBay, because someone bought them. So they were selling them at ridiculous prices.
Now, with the Xbox One, was there a shortage there, though? I don't remember there being a shortage for the Microsoft. I think it feels like none of us had problems with that. I think PlayStation had a little bit of a problem. And we know Nintendo has, but there's not that many of them. But Nintendo still has a problem. I mean, Nintendo Switch is still really hard to get hold of.
They do deliberately. Make you want it more.
Yeah, no.
That's what they always do.
Yeah. But I can't remember the Xbox One, anyone having a problem that we knew.
No.
And it does make me think, is Microsoft's... also PlayStation have already warned people, haven't they? This is the thing. PlayStation have already saying, it's going to be really hard to get hold of one of these, first of all. And we might talk about staggered. Xbox have not said anything like that, have they?
No.
They said we're completely prepared for this.
Well, I don't know if they're prepared,
but you both think
they could go November the 10th, no matter what, aren't they? So,
but you think it'll be quite? You think it might be fun? They're going to go quite quickly, possibly on the 22nd.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
I don't think there'd be a problem getting it as long as you're on the ball and ready to go. But if you leave it, if you leave it and think, oh, I'll just kind of jump in a bit later on, I don't think you're going to get one.
So do you think we have to be midnight on the 22nd ready to go?
Yeah.
I hope not, because I sleep at midnight.
What are you going to do then? You got to do. You were saying to me, you can't wait.
Stay up.
Yeah, you got to stay
I'll
up
send
there.
James the money. James, buy me this console. Yeah?
And of course, we're going to
Stay
have
up till midnight.
We're going to have all the
The whole
bundles
team.
as well, aren't we? So there's each place will do a different bundle, I suppose, won't they? It won't just be Amazon will have a bundle. You know, Amazon have put it on their placeholder already, but they're Amazon and Game and what's that place you talked about, Smith's Toy Store? They're going to be. They will all have a different enticement, won't they? I suppose because everyone wants to buy it from those stores. You two don't sound convinced by that, are you?
And they will also bundle in some games, which I'm sure we'll probably get onto very soon.
Yeah.
The big ones.
Yeah. There'll be the games that they throw in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about EA Play really briefly. So that was another announcement today, and it was a great kind of thing. The idea that EA Play, which some of you don't know, which is called EA Access and EA Origins before, and that is you pay £4 a month or something, or £30 for the year, and you get early access to all the EA new games and a thing called the Vault, which is all the games like 6 months later or sometimes 3 months later. So you can play Battlefield, FIFA, Peggle, yeah, and some great indie games in there.
Plants vs Zombies.
Yeah, Unravels. Sea of Solitude, really good game. And they're going into Game Pass. So if you've got a Game Pass Ultimate Pass thing, you can get all the EA games as well, which I think is a really good. It's great. That's another little great move by them. You agree?
When is that going in?
They've said winter, but they haven't said when. It should. They've got to do it before the FIFA game comes out. Maybe they won't.
They won't.
They won't, will they?
No, they won't do that.
They do it after their games will come out. So everyone signs up beforehand. And then they get people playing their games with Game Pass afterwards.
What have they got? What's EA got coming out? It's got FIFA. I think there's a Need for Speed in there, isn't there, somewhere?
But they're not going to chuck the newest game straight in, are they?
No, but you could get some early access to it. So if you had FIFA, you get 10 hours free in the same
10 days.
And
it still won't be enough.
Star Wars, this new Star Wars Squadrons game, that's another one in there. So you'll get those abilities as well. It'll be interesting to see when they do. But it's great. It's a really good move, isn't it?
Yeah, the problem is EA Access or EA Play, whatever you want to call it, has really gone downhill and really taken a back seat compared to the Game Pass stuff. Whereas Game Pass has been going upwards all the time. EA Play has gone right down. I don't know the last time I fired up an EA Access app. I don't even know if it's still on the console. I don't know. I haven't got a clue. So whilst it's nice, I wouldn't say it's much of a console service, because they are old games. Yeah,
they are, but it's the right move for that, because the reason you haven't loaded up and the reason I haven't, because it's just one company doing a sort of like access service or a subscription service. For me, doesn't work because they don't have games all the time.
Not enough content.
No, but if you're putting it into Game Pass, which has a multiple, thing, is a really interesting move, because I think. Will others start to do that as well? We haven't got access to on Game Pass. Correct me if I'm wrong. What was the game that we don't get many Ubisoft? We do get some Ubisoft stuff though, don't we? In there, in Game Pass, we've had a bit of Division for a bit.
Division.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good move. Activision, you don't get any of those, do you?
Don't get many of them.
No.
I think we've spoken about this on the podcast before, maybe in like one of the really early episodes, that maybe alongside EA, Activision should also have one, and Ubisoft should have one. So maybe maybe bringing it all in does work. I don't know.
I think it's better than everyone paying millions of subscriptions to different things. They just lose, like me with EA. I just went, I can't bother this because I've got Game Pass, and I'm not going to spend, Yeah, but it's a good little bonus. I think it's a clever, another little move. I mean, this is what we're getting down to, aren't we? Because basically, they haven't got that many launch titles, have they? Probably they've got less than PlayStation are going to have on the day. So I think what they've done with these kind of extra bits of pricing and this having EA and of course the Game Pass itself, because there'll be things you can play on the day. We're going to know more about launch. But the two big games, well, the one big game is definitely been moved, which is the Assassin's Creed Valhalla game. That's been moved from its 17th of November and it goes on to launch day on the 10th. Is that a clever move? Is that a good move? I mean, Xbox must have paid a bit of money for that.
They'll chuck it in a bundle.
Yeah. I mean, it's coming to the PlayStation 5 as well, I should say. But yeah, it's still there, but it will be Xbox probably first, unless PlayStation are going to release a week earlier or something.
And on PlayStation 4 as well.
Yeah, sorry, in PlayStation 4, yeah. But
and Xbox One.
And Xbox One.
And Stadia.
And Stadia.
Yeah.
And if anyone still plays that.
And you play Plus.
And you play
Epic Games.
Yeah. All right, you two.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah. Is this a good move?
Yeah.
Yeah? Not convinced? Yeah.
Yeah. They had to have a big game for day one. They had to. And I know it isn't exclusive. It's the first next generation game that you can play.
Right.
So, as in, even though it's on the other consoles, you have to play it straight away before PlayStation. And that'll draw people in to get the new console, I think.
And it's a game that I think is, well, especially in the last month or so, is really highlighting what it will look like, how different it would look like with the new console. And of course, Neil's bugbear, the loading screens as well, which is going all about it being a much more easier.
They'll still be there, don't you worry. They'll still be there, and you still won't be able to flick between two games in 5 seconds. It'll be fine. Just what you said there, James, about PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
You'll be able to play it on Series X before PlayStation 5. We don't know that for certain.
Okay, I'm guessing.
We're assuming.
Yeah. He did say PlayStation 5 later.
Yeah.
So
I think.
No, it said upon the launch of the console.
No, somewhere else I read it, not specifically Ubisoft. I'm sure someone said that a game is coming out on Xbox Series X and then PlayStation 5 later. Unless they're assuming as well. Can't remember which developer it was.
I think the rumour, I know you hate rumours, is
Rumour has it.
November 13th is PlayStation. So there could. I don't think it's going to be that long, is it? I think if it was 4 weeks gap between the two, I think Valhalla Ubisoft might be a bit. Hold on, this is going to damage us a little bit more. But if it's kind of like 3 days or something, or it's not so bad, is it? And like you said, you're still playing the PlayStation 4. Ubisoft as well. I mean, they talked about Watch Dogs, which is still coming out on the 29th of October. What's that? 10 days before. That they kept saying this is a launch title as well. They were kind of bigging that up as a launch title, weren't they?
Yeah.
And saying again how that game's going to work. Loading screens visually, how it's going to use all the ray tracing stuff on the new Xbox Series X.
Can you tell us how that would benefit the game?
How I think it would benefit the game. I do think the open worlds are going to be.
You think?
Yeah, I think the open worlds will look great. I think those games will look. I think they will use visually. I think that game's going to look really pretty on the Xbox One, anyway. But it's going to look. I think it would just have that extra shine, like we talked about with looking at Red Dead and looking at Assassins. Yeah, lighting. Yeah, and also it might be a bit quicker on the loaded screens and getting around. The open worlds, I think, is where these consoles are going to really shine. And there's 2 huge open world games on that thing. So I personally think it's a good, we talked about this last week. Watch Dogs, Assassins, and then a week later you've got Cyberpunk. Is 3 massive games there, massive kind of huge hour-eating games. Also, it feels right that these games are available to play on the new console.
Yeah, but I think people could get in there early with Watch Dogs because it has a smart delivery. So
It
you
does.
could buy it early, play it, and then I think your save goes over to the new console.
It does, yeah.
So you don't have to lose any progression.
No, I'm going to wait. I think I'm going to wait. Maybe I'll wait. I don't know. Maybe I won't
play
wait.
It all for you.
You won't play. You won't get past the first mission. You'll get bored.
It'd be quite interesting to start it on Xbox One and then move over just to see what the difference is.
But I did it for us, I think.
To see if your 450 quid has been worth it or not.
But didn't I write an article for us about Assassins when on the Xbox Series X? Assassin's Creed Origins. And
the technical side.
Yeah, but I wrote that because I started
that. See it.
I was reviewing that game on the Xbox One, and then I got the Series X, and it was about that. It must have been. I remember doing something.
Yeah, I vaguely remember actually. Yeah.
It was a.
Yeah, vaguely.
It was very.
That one.
Very insightful.
Maybe a decent one.
It was about 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
In your prime.
In my prime. Okay, so that's those 2 ones, the big ones, and then they've announced today is Gears Tactics, which was only on PC, wasn't it? That's going to be a launch title on day 1. Now, did someone review Gears Tactics for us on PC? No, or someone played it or previewed it? Tell us about that.
Yeah, we put up a PC review. We're just kind of testing the waters to see how it would go, and it went fine. But then have decided, just because we've got Series X, and I personally think we'll be seeing the stuff of Flight Simulator and all that lot coming over sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And I think there's a Crusaders game out as well, isn't there? I think on Game Pass at the moment. On Game Pass for PC, I mean. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I think stuff like that will trickle down probably within within 6 months of launch. So anyway, we held off again. So yeah, but Gears Tactics looks really, really good.
Yeah, it's like an XCOM game, isn't it?
Yeah.
When I kind of looked at a little trailer for it today, it looked great. And who did it for us? Who did the PC? Gave it quite a high one.
William, I think.
William, yeah, he loved it, didn't he?
5 out of 5, I think.
Yeah.
Very good.
So that's good. It's another game there. And also, we don't know what the rest of the launches are going to be. I don't think we know Tetris might be in there. I keep saying Tetris.
I want Gears Tactics to be on Game Pass.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, okay.
So that'll be great, won't it, day 1?
Well, it's on Game Pass for PC, isn't it? So
yeah, Ultimate, yeah.
Should just come straight over, yeah.
Yeah, so that's another game you can play straight after that.
And the Medium is still in the that's looking like holiday 2020 still. So maybe we'll learn more about launch titles. I guess pretty soon. I think, aren't we? We're going to hear more about it in the next week or so. I think.
The Falconeer.
The Falconeer. Yeah. God, that seems a lifetime ago since that was the last event I went to before COVID in January.
Wow.
When I sat down with him. Falconeer. Yeah, that'd be a launch title. Okay. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, it looks great as well. He had a lot to do to finish it, he said.
He's had plenty of time.
Which worries me a bit. But yeah, he was great. Good. And the last thing I want to say about, which was just a moment ago, before we go, Call of Duty multiplayer reveal came out, poor sods. That was their big date. And now it's like, oh, this has happened. And they were basically saying on the consoles, on the new Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, there's going to be elements of multiplayer that would be more interesting to play, like they talking about sound, how they're going to use audio sound, so you have a feeling where the bullets are coming from in multiplayer. So it's not just this kind of one level of sound, but you might know if it's coming to the left or something's coming to the right.
I'm glad you clarified that.
Yeah.
I was thinking, wow, he's got a sound. That's the first.
Can't you just put a decent pair of headphones on?
Leave it, Neil. This is new technology stuff. Some of us can't afford headphones. Some of us haven't got 4,000 headphones like you. You reviewed them all.
Sorry.
God.
But to me, if I want to play a shooter like that and I want to know where the bullets are coming from, I'd just stick a pair of headphones on.
It's more...
And you hear them whizzing past your left ear or your right ear.
I know.
So how's this new and exciting for? Is it exclusive kind of next gen stuff?
Yeah, they were saying there's elements in the multiplayer that will just be for next gen. Of course, they were talking about 120 frames per second, about the lighting. It's going to look fantastic, and those games will Call of Duty will look amazing. So,
but they did hold back on saying there are exclusive features or anything like that. There's no.
They said these features will be for the next generation in these elements that we talked about.
I mean gameplay features, as in gameplay modes.
Oh no, yeah, no. You'll be able to play everything across generation, but you'll just get these
for now. For now, we can.
I mean, we saw in that.
It won't be long, will it? It won't be long.
No. And you saw in that video which we saw the guy swapping all the games, and we saw a bit of Gears 5, didn't we, on multiplayer? They were talking about 120 frames per second and that, and how, for multiplayer they were saying this is really important because people don't want any lag or any what's it called.
But if you have no lag, what would you blame?
Exactly. I think it's loads of people just blaming lag, and it's just exactly the same. Yeah. Just a note before we wrap it up. Do you think the PlayStation 5 are going to reveal soon? Do you think that's going to... What's going on with them? What are they going to do?
I think they might wait now.
Do you think?
Might wait another month.
A month?
They'll give it a couple of days. Friday.
Do you think?
PS5 reveal date, yeah.
Does that mean we've got to come back on Friday?
No.
Well, we are doing anyway, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. We could be back.
I won't be here. I couldn't care less.
You wouldn't get that. Because Ubisoft have got their event, which we're going to be covering on Friday, but we'll have a little chat. Maybe we'll come back a bit later on, but we'll work that out. That's just behind the curtain stuff. We're just doing housekeeping.
It depends really what Ubisoft have got to show now. As soon as they've just changed dates on Watch Dogs and the other game, Valhalla. Really, what else have they got?
Well, they've got their
Guns and Monsters.
Yeah, they've got that one.
Rebrand,
and that was rumored. We're talking about coming out in December, so we'll see if that's going to come out this quarter.
Yeah. It'll probably just be a few trailers, won't it?
Yeah, last time they ruined the big surprise beforehand with Far Cry. So there wasn't really.
They have got
much.
Beyond Good and Evil 2, which we haven't seen anything of for 3 years.
Have they still got it though?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, have they got it?
Yeah.
You might have lost it. You might you know what? It's not worth it. Too much hassle. Sticking with Far Cry out there.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. They've
waited. Oh, yeah. Season 25.
Oh, dear.
I love Ubisoft, though.
Yeah, I do. I mean, they're always... it's great. They've got three big games coming out, possibly in the next couple of months. You don't care about them, do you, James?
No, it's a gaming company.
No.
All they want is our money.
Well, yeah.
But they give us some good games. So they give us some good games.
They
shoot themselves in
exactly what you need to give you. They give you what you need to give you to get the money out of you, and that's it. No more, no less. That's life.
Well, on that note, gentlemen, thank you.
We have to have him on again.
He's part of the contract.
He started all upbeat.
Yeah.
Dropped a few jokes.
I know.
And it ends it on a bomb.
Another bomb. Dear me. Exciting day though. That's good. We've got a new console coming. We know what the date is. We know what the price is. What could be better?
What? Yeah, it's a good day, but what really is exciting about it?
I'm going to agree with you.
What really is exciting? We've kind of known roughly when it's coming out. It's still not out, so we can't get our hands on it.
Yeah.
We now know the exact price. We knew roughly what the price would be. we still don't have to pay for it. So exactly why is it exciting?
Look, we've had a bad time. COVID's running rampant through this thing. We can't go out. We can go out. We can't go out. Everything's. We need something.
Yeah.
A little bit of hope.
You know what I mean, though.
I know what you mean.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed. At the moment we get it on the day, and even then we'll probably be disappointed for a moment. No, we won't. It'll look great. It'll be fun.
You will be if you watch all these hype videos beforehand of guys changing games, and then suddenly it doesn't do it when it's in your house. That's when you'll be.
You can't know what's on the screen.
Yeah. Looking at your clock. This has been 15 seconds.
Yeah. No,
best thing to do. Don't watch any hype videos.
No, we'll get it and we'll be happy with it. It'll be good.
Oh, definitely. I'll be more than happy about it. Yeah. But nothing's changed. That's
nothing. I mean, I'm playing a game called, what am I playing? Active Neurons 2 that I'm loving at the moment.
Yeah.
And I probably could run that on my watch.
Yep. I'm playing CD Run, which I'm loving at the moment, and I could play that on my watch from 20 years ago.
So, what are we after? We want good games. We're getting good games.
Good, fun games.
Yeah,
That's what we want.
Exactly. Right, you two. That's enough. We've chatted enough. Thank you very much. James, where can we find you?
As always, on Twitter, Instagram, @OKidUKO.
Good. Neil, where we can find you?
I thought James was going to throw another one in there then. It was like Twitter, Instagram, but no, he didn't. Neil363 on Instagram.
Lovely.
And the Xbox Hub stuff all over the place.
Good. And you get me at GB Briley on Twitter and Twitch. Thank you very much. Let us know, of course, what you think. Are you excited or are you miserable like these two poor bastards? Let us know.
And which console are you going to get?
Which one? Yes. And we might be back very shortly. We might be back next week. We're not sure yet. We'll see what, in these mad times, we'll see what events are going to happen in the next few days. But thank you very much, gentlemen, and for coming short notice, and we'll see you very soon. Bye.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com. You'll be able to find all the notes of this show at www.thexboxhub.com/podcast. You can also check out our social feeds on Instagram and Twitter at The Xbox Hub, and search for The Xbox Hub on Facebook.